Hello, everybody. I'm Sarika Jain, love and relationship coach. So excited to see you today. I'm the author of the 90-day Soulmate Plan, Get Out of Your Own Way and Attract the Higher Love You Deserve. Whether you're tuning in live or joining us for a replay, I'm so thankful for you. I'm so grateful to be connected to you in this way. We're on week 8 out of 13 in this 90-day plan to attract the higher love you deserve. So get ready for your dream relationship, your soulmate relationship, and just taking the steps, taking active steps on a psycho spiritual level to release whatever's not serving you and step into the partnership blueprint, step into your authentic loving self and attract the right partner that you can connect with on every level: mental, spiritual, physical, mental, um, spiritual. It's been a long day. I have a 4-month-old baby. And so, yeah, so on every level. And I'm grateful to be doing this as a mom, as as a wife, as a love coach. It's just such a pleasure to be able to spend time thinking about love, talking about love, helping you achieve your love goals. Because after all, why are we here? We're here to be loved, to experience love, really. Okay. So I'm going to start us off with a 10-minute mindful meditation. So just get yourself, in a comfortable, relaxed position, straighten your back, place your feet on the ground or have yourself sitting cross-legged, your hands on your knees, your eyes closed, your jaws comfortable. And I'm going to do a mindfulness meditation in the style of the Plum Village Monastery that's in France, that was created by Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, someone whom I've really been influenced by. His work around love has been something that has been the bedrock for me and for my husband and for the work that I do around love. So I invite you to close your eyes, and I'm going to start off with 3 bells. Breathing in, I'm aware of my in-breath. Breathing out, I'm aware of my out-breath. In, out. Breathing in, I feel the breath entering my nose on my in-breath, filling up my body. Breathing out, I feel the air exiting my nose, leaving my body. In, out. Breathing in, I notice the sounds around me and the sensations around me. Breathing out, I bring my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I notice all the thoughts floating through my head. Breathing out, I observe them like clouds passing by and bringing my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I bring my attention to my heart, noticing the beating and the sensations. Breathing out, I send my gratitude and my presence to my heart. In, out. Breathing in, I bring my attention to my sacral chakra, my reproductive organs, my pelvis, and other sacred organs in the lower part of my body. Breathing out, I send love and gratitude and presence to these parts of my body. In, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that this is the present moment. Breathing out, I know that it is a wonderful moment, the only moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. only moment. In, out. Breathing in, I send myself love and gratitude for being here today. Breathing out, I send myself love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Love, accept, and forgiveness for myself. In, out. May I be happy. May I be love. May I be peace. May I be free from suffering. May my loved ones be happy. May my loved ones be peace. May my loved ones be free from suffering. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peace. May all beings be free from suffering. And you can slowly open your eyes. Mindfulness is such an important part of dating and being in a relationship. For me, it's been the cornerstone for leading a happy, healthy life and just observing my subconscious blocks and barriers to love. Okay. And just feeling fresh and present, which is where love happens. Love happens in the present moment. So this week we're on week 9, which is great. 9 out of, or wait, are we on week 8 or 9? I can't remember. Where we're going to be talking about stepping into your wow factor. So you've done the first 2 steps. The first step was around self-love, and the second step was around healing your heart and closing your X files. So if you've finished those steps, I'm so proud of you. They're huge. I mean, it's like you've really crossed a huge spiritual hurdle and you've made it to the other side. And of course, you can continue to do this work for the rest of your life. I do. But you're making intentional steps to getting yourself ready for attracting the healthy, loving, lasting relationship of your dreams. Okay. The third step is discovering your wow factor. So aligning with your feminine, sexual, passionate self. Okay. And this is one of my favorite chapters. It's something that's kind of overlooked from other dating books, right? Because a lot of books are around like being mysterious, being sexy, dressing a certain way, like learning how to flirt, learning how to, like get what you want in your personal life with men. But I really feel like for us women, we really need to start stepping into like our true power. Our true power is in aligning or actually awakening our divine feminine selves. Okay. So reclaiming your sexual power, reclaiming your feminine essence and your uniqueness, your passion, your purpose. Okay. Because all of these are related to the vibe that you give off, this turned on vibe. Okay. When a woman is turned on by herself, other men are turned on by her. Other people are turned on by her, rather. Right. And it's from this turned on state that you can attract, magnetize abundance, love, soulmate relationships. Okay. Like you can manifest your dream life by emanating this joie de vivre, this presence, this joy, this sensuality. Okay. And this is a very foreign concept for so many of us. been, brought up to be very almost masculine. Most of us, I mean, most women I talk to, they don't even know what the feminine side feels like. So it's not about just becoming feminine and nurturing and warm and all of that fuzzy stuff. No, this is about like claiming your feminine power and marrying it with your inner masculine, your masculine side, which you've likely developed over your life. Okay. And like just having this healthy union within yourself. Um, hmm, I've got to stop saying the word. So we're on page 191, and it's called Discover Your Wow Factor, Align with Your Unique Feminine Sexual Self. And I love this chapter. I think it's so rich. It's when women read this chapter, they just want to keep going in it. They're like, tell me more, tell me more. Well, and the thing is so many of us are triggered by it too. It's like, I don't want to feel more vulnerable, more sexy, more nurturing, warm. Like I've done all of that, right? I just want to like power through and get what I need, achieve what I want, you know? And it's not about that. It's about embracing that we can receive love and as our feminine selves, we can magnetize what we want. We can feel natural and authentic in ourselves and reclaim that innocence, reclaim that, like when I look at, I have 3 daughters and they're all under the age of 5. They're so natural in themselves, they're so magnetic. They think about love. They're loving by nature. Like that's what they think about. They're emotional leaders. And for many of us women, like we grew up, like when we were small, we wanted love. We wanted to feel natural in our bodies. We felt so wholesome in our bodies. And then over time, I think there's a statistic that 86% of girls struggle with low self-esteem. And all of it's related to our bodies, our views of our sexuality, and, like just feeling disconnected from ourselves. And this is an invitation to connect deeply with yourself, and awakening a part of you that wants to be expressed. Okay. So I'm going to start reading on page 191. When I was young, I was mystified by my mother. She was my archetype of a woman, and I wanted to experience the world through her eyes and body. I marveled at her gemstone colored silk blouses, pearl necklaces, and high-heeled shoes. I mean, I used to wear her shoes, and I I saved them. I dreamt of wearing them one day, and then when I was a teenager, I wore them. Okay. I used to rummage through her makeup and hair accessories, and by the age of 12, I was adept at using a curling iron and hairspray for my hair. I was such a girly girl. I really was. And I used to like from the age of 2, I used to go into her makeup and take the blush and run around with it. Or I used to wear her necklaces. So I observed her every move and was fascinated with her interactions with my dad. I wanted to grow up and be a woman. I loved girly things like short skirts and flirty dresses, dreamt about dating, and awaited for my breasts to come in. Do you resonate? Those that age of 11 to 13 where you're like, breasts, where are you? You know, I wanted to be in a romantic relationship with a handsome, princely man, and I read countless romance novels. However, I felt largely insecure and clumsy because I was dark skinned, hairy, and skeletal in my build, and I was not one of the cool girls by any means. I was such a nerd, and I remember just feeling like so dark and ugly. And whether I was in America or in India, I moved to India at the age of 11 or 12. And I just always felt insecure about how I looked. And I think it's universal, I'm guessing, right? But I felt uncool. By my teens, I could see the messaging in our society about being a young woman. Don't get pregnant. Don't distract men. Don't invite too much attention. Sex before marriage is bad. Dark women end up alone. Fair women are beautiful, or you're too fat or too skinny, right? The list went on, and I felt confused and sometimes even ashamed of my body. Okay, true story. I used to stuff my bra with socks to make it look like I had bigger breasts. And I did this throughout like from the age of like I don't know, 15 till 22. Like I was just so insecure about my body, my breasts. Like I just didn't feel sexy in my body. I wanted to look and behave a certain way to feel feminine, beautiful, and sexy, yet those were the very things that got me into trouble. The media didn't help. There were images of sensual women galore and ads in television, and women's magazines were filled with messaging around pleasuring men and looking fashionable. I was smart and did well in school, which I'm really thankful for. I ended up studying computer science and engineering, and as an undergraduate and an MBA, while being in my feminine and being in my feminine was confounding to navigate. Right, so I was surrounded by men all the time, and yet I was like, I was definitely attracting a lot of men towards me, but it was so hard for me to like figure out how to be like feminine in a masculine world and not be too feminine. In my 20s, being a woman was both fascinating and hard. I had no problem dating men, yet had trouble keeping a relationship. I read books about succeeding in the game of work and love as a modern woman. I'm sure you did too, right? When it came to my career, I was told not to be so nurturing and too sexy or emotional. And when it came to dating and winning a man's heart, I was advised to turn up my sexuality, kindness, and femininity. Right? Look at the cognitive dissonance. It's like I have to be something in one environment and something else in another. I dressed professionally for the office and got many power suits tailored. And for my personal life, I dressed in gypsy, feminine, and flowing wear. On dates, I was sculpted, wearing something elegant and with a slightly sexy edge. When I visited India with my family, I would rock my Indian outfits while rebelling against customs that I thought were too patriarchal or too oppressive. I always felt too much or too little. My loved ones kept asking why I wasn't married yet, and I felt constantly embarrassed or even wondering if I was cursed because I was single. I had a love hate relationship with my sexuality, feeling grateful for the prospect of giving birth one day and experiencing the joy of sex and intimacy, but also finding my menstrual cycle to be debilitating and a pain. My sexuality felt confusing, especially when it came to dating or making a relationship last. It's sad to admit, but I felt disempowered, like I was just basically trying to scrape by through sheer hard work and intelligence and playing games to win affection and love. Looking back, I just didn't have a relationship with my sexuality. I basically used it. I used it to get relationships, and I didn't I didn't have like reverence for my menstrual flow or my body or my sexual organs. I just had such a utilitarian view, like, oh, I guess one day I'm gonna have kids, and I don't know. It just yeah, like I think seeing my sexuality as beautiful and sacred. It's something I've always yearned for. I had interest in metaphysics, growth, art, relationships, and service, but I had no idea how that fit in with my explorations and creating a life of freedom and success. I thought that I could pursue those later, maybe even after I got married, or better yet, after I retired. Sound familiar, right? So many of us think, oh, I'll do that when I retire. Like literally anyone I talk to about one of their passion projects, they always think later. In fact, I was constantly trying to figure out what I was passionate about outside of work. There were so many seeds within me, so many yearnings, yet they all felt caged in. And at some point, I became disconnected with my desires, which I considered selfish or impractical. After I began to love myself and heal my heart, I started to feel lighter and saw a glimmer of new possibilities opening up to me. I began to question things in life. What am I really here to do and what's my purpose? Do I really want to get married and have kids? What kind of lifestyle would support me in realizing my spiritual potential? How could I share my talents with the world in a joyful, authentic way? What other gifts do I have that I don't know about? The answers to all of those questions started appearing when I began to embrace my feminine, intuitive sexual side, at least however much I had the courage to. I was sick of playing by someone else's rules and how to live on how to live and be happy, and wanted to claim my own path. I was having the best time of my life, connecting with my heart's desires. I was falling in love with myself and my life, seeing the world with a sense of wonder and dancing with the rhythms of my heart. It was in this journey of inquiry and taking courageous risks and exploring my purpose that I met Christian. He was inspired by my vision and values and wanted to support me. I too could see the gentleness and generosity of his heart, his fierce commitment to truth and integrity, and his passion, which turned me on. I was living in my divine feminine, and there was real chemistry between us. Nothing fake, manipulative, or based on instant attraction like I was used to. I knew that my life was way more precious than I had thought it was. Life was too short to be playing small. If I wanted to into my true power as a modern woman and create a life of meaning, love, and fulfillment, then I needed to embrace all sides of me, including the parts that lay hidden and even what I considered dark, ugly, or shameful. So I don't know if my story resonates for you, but where do you feel trapped? How do you feel about your body? How do you feel about your sexuality? How do you feel about your dreams? How do you feel about your connection to your purpose? How do you feel? How comfortable do you feel in sharing what you need in a relationship or in bed? How comfortable are you sharing your feelings and saying no, setting boundaries, right? Those are all important to kind of feel into because they're all in here inside your body, right? And it's all because of our inhibitions, our fear of being vulnerable, our lack of connection with ourselves. And that's what this step is about. The step is about becoming really connected to who you are as a modern woman. you know So I just want to let you know, dear divine goddess, you are unique, beautiful, and freaking gifted. And that's the reality. You're here with a special gift. You have a gift to share, and that's uniquely you as a modern woman. Okay. There is a perfection and an exquisiteness in you that no one else has. When you are in your power, there's nothing that can stop you. You are a queen on a mission, ready to slay self doubt and rule over your kingdom with confidence and grace. You have the capacity to be a love magnet wherever you go, performing alchemy in your environment through your presence. Now that you're mostly baggage free, you can begin envisioning and creating this new life that your soul is itching to create. But how do you get there, and what is it exactly? You have an inner compass and a secret weapon. It's your unique soul blueprint and the temple of the body that you were born in. When you align with your wow factor, your true essence and unique vision for your life, and restore your feminine and masculine balance, you will become turned on by yourself in your life. And this is when others are turned on by you. Okay. So that's what this step is about. This is the third step of discovering your wow factor. And it involves connecting with your soul and its purpose, and also to sexual healing and restoring your feminine sensuality and desire for love, relationships, life, and creativity. Okay. So I don't know. For me, this feels like a path of mastery. Like, okay, you've done all this work in creating your foundation and getting rid of belief systems that no longer work and old wounds. And now you're like, okay, what does it mean to be a modern woman? Okay, what does mastery look like? Um, I I did a 1 year program with Mama Gina in New York City. Mama Gina is this feminine leader, or I'm sorry, she's a leader in feminine mastery, as she calls it. And it was a 1 year program where we discovered our sexuality, our connection to our emotions, and it was so raw and vulnerable. I mean, we were a group of 900 women together in a giant building, and we were naked. Like, we were invited to take off our clothes and, like, observe each other and feel comfortable within our own skin and accept ourselves. And it was so transformational, right? And learning about our pleasure and what turns us on and how to ask for what you want from your partner. I mean, it was a whole rewiring process. And it's something like I've already been studying, but it's like a lifelong thing, you as a woman, like for me to really claim my own, sexuality, my own just sense of desire or feeling desired, and my own cup feeling full from a pleasure perspective. It actually takes work, it takes effort, but then that's what fuels my passion, fuels, my passion for intimacy, my passion for doing this work, and opening up my gifts, my intuition, my ability to channel my healing gifts, and just having a sense of radiance, right? Like magnetism and radiance. Okay. So, I just want you to know that, like, the world kind of puts each person in a box, but you're way more than that. You're not just a box. You're like a Pandora's box. You have so much to be un, unveiled. And, you know, that's that's the mystery. Like when, people talk about, oh, be mysterious to attract your partner. That's how you become mysterious. You become mysterious even to yourself. I think, yeah. So, I just want to also connect back to that childhood essence of yourself. Like think back to yourself when you were 5 years old or 10 years old. What were you like? What did you really desire? And did you love love? Like, did you draw hearts everywhere? I mean, I look at my 5-year-old, that's all she's into is hearts and rainbows and love. Like, she talks about love all the time. That's who we are as women, as girls. Like, we are the emotional leaders in society, and we do long for love and emotional connection and physical connection. So, just step back into that yearning for love and being connected, and turn it towards yourself first, your own body, um, your purpose, your passion. Okay. So, yeah, this I'm going to be talking about awakening your sexuality. So there's three components of stepping into your wow factor. The first one is your sexuality. The second is about femininity, like what is it to be in your feminine? And then the third is about aligning with your purpose. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about awakening your sexuality. And I'm on page 197. And I share a story about a client who was sexually molested as a child. And it affected her whole life. Like she had poor grades, she had poor self-esteem, she just couldn't trust herself. She has deep distrust of herself and her life. Like she just, you know, uh, she just couldn't, she kept attracting emotionally unavailable men. And, she also developed reproductive health issues, hormonal issues, and that's all related to the sexual trauma she experienced. Okay. So, as a woman, you have to come to terms with, like, where do you feel stuck in your sexuality? Where were you hurt or traumatized in the past? And how can you heal it? How can you feel comfortable in your body and feel loving towards your sexuality and awaken it, even, right? For so many of us, we've been working in the corporate world for so long. It feels, it becomes more of a function, oh, sleep with someone to get commitment, or, for, instant pleasure. But where is that ongoing reverent relationship with your sexuality and owning it with sacredness and having that sacred connection with the partner through your sexuality? Okay. So, yeah, I just want to, invite you to tune into how sacred your sexuality is. On page 198, I talk about as a woman, you have the power to create and sustain life through your body. Why do I start here? Self love starts with a radical acceptance, self acceptance, and understanding and honoring yourself and your body. Knowing implicitly that as a woman, the sacredness of your body is key. Whether or not you can or decide to have children or not is not important. It's the very essence of your femininity and sexuality that gives you the greatest power given to mankind to create almost anything out of nothing through the power of your desire. Your body has access to universal creative intelligence that specifically flows through a feminine body. As a woman, you have the ability to experience great pleasure in your body, process the ultimate depths of emotions, access deep intuition and wisdom, and heal through the divinity of your presence. Whether as a lover, wife, mother, CEO, community organizer, gardener, or any other role you find yourself in, you have a vital essence that, when harnessed, captivates hearts and minds and can move mountains. In essence, your body is a temple which requires honor. When you respect your body, mind, and soul, others will invariably do the same. When you're deeply connected to your body and sexuality, you are in your truest, greatest essence and power. Men are ultimately vulnerable to women, which is why they have to work so hard to stay strong and in control of their emotions, especially around sexy women. Sexuality is power, my friends. Why else would a patriarchy have created a complicated, multi generational, multi layered system to control and oppress the feminine? So, I don't want you to think about, sex as power. I just want you to know that there is an inherent power that you have, and that is through owning your sexual self. And on page 199, I talk about the trauma that we all have around, like most women have around our sexuality. I mean, every woman I've coached has some belief systems or trauma related to it. So, I just want you to just take stock of it. Just know that that's like lying in your consciousness, and you're not going to purge it overnight, but like have honor and reverence for where you're coming from in terms of your sense of safety in your sexuality, where how you feel about it, whether you can orgasm or not, whether you have pain while having sex, right? Whether you love your sexual organs or not. Like maybe some of you are disgusted by yourself, right? That's normal. It's normal to start from that place. So on page 200, I have an assessment, and it's, is my sexuality blocked? And you can do a self-assessment. So it's just use this to gauge, like, are you blocked, in terms of your sexual flow, sexual energy, your sexual chakra? I remember when I started this path, I worked with the healer, the psychic, and she told me that my heart and sacral chakras were blocked. My sexual chakra was blocked, and these two are important for creating the life I want, for creating healthy love. Okay. So the good news is you don't have to do like years and years of therapy and work around your sexuality. Just do these exercises I've shared with you in this book, um, and you'll find that just like owning up to your connection with your sexuality will be an awakening for you. I really believe that. Okay. I've done all these practices myself. I give them to my clients to do. And, you know, maybe it is in your destiny, or maybe you do need to work with someone one on one to help you process this. And that's okay too. Like I have worked intensively with professionals to walk me through this. Like it doesn't have to be a solo journey, but if you want it to be, that's fine too. Okay. But the key is that the more that you own your relationship with your sexuality and turn it on, the more you're going to feel confident in yourself. And the more men are going to find you, they're going to know how to pleasure you. That's important. A lot of men are frustrated because their women are always dissatisfied. And dissatisfaction is a big problem for women. It's like we just don't know how to be content and happy within ourselves. We don't know how to fill our own pleasure cup, or we don't even know what to ask for in terms of pleasure or desire. When I ask women, like, what is it that you really desire? Women just don't know, right? You might not know what it is that you really desire. And the way to access what your desires are is by tuning in and starting to whet your appetite, starting to feel that desire within your body, feel that sexual flow. So I will say, as a mom, like, I've had 3 kids, and right now I'm doing pelvic floor rehab. Okay, which is something I never thought I would do. It's like now it's like I have to pee constantly. I have very poor um, pelvic strength, and so I have organ prolapse, which means, like, while I was pushing, and even while I was pregnant, I was pushing my organs down, and so now I have, like, incontinence issues. I can't do yoga in front of people because I might queef. It is embarrassing, but luckily I have so much respect for myself and body. Like, I've created that over time that I don't feel embarrassed. I'm like, okay, this is just how my body is, and it performed the sacred function of having a baby. So what else would I expect? Like, I don't have any shame around it, thankfully. Like, I think if I hadn't done this work, I would have felt ashamed. And I do struggle with low libido, and this is something that happens for a lot of women too. Like, after you have your children, you're like, all right, like, sex is over, or like, or you just have sex once in a while just to keep your husband happy, or maybe never. I mean, I have friends who barely have sex, right? And I know I have to do the work of reclaiming my sexuality in order to keep my marriage alive, right? In order to keep that sense of desire flowing, in order to feel that sense of pleasure and connection with my body. So at least I have this awareness, and I have the tools. And the tools are what I've shared here in this book. So on pages 201 till, you know, 206, or 207, those are all tools that will help you in claiming that connection with your body that no one else can give you. Okay. So maybe I'll just pause right here and just be in gratitude for this moment. I hear my baby crying in the background. I remember this one time when I was in high school, and I was in 11th grade, and we were in the school in India where it was kindergarten through 12th in one school, and it was only a girls' school. And I remember wondering, like, wow, these poor sixth graders, like, I just had empathy for fifth and sixth grader girls. Like, I was like, they just don't know anything about their sexuality. There was no sex ed class. And I was like, man, when they get their periods, they won't even know what to do. Okay. And so I took it on myself to go and teach, and during lunch, just go and teach the fifth and sixth graders, like, about their reproductive systems, and when they get their periods, and, like, sacred self-care around their menstrual cycle and what it means to be a woman or a teenager. And I don't know, I just had this urge to just go teach them that. And like, my main thing was, like, what if they don't know that what happens if they get raped? Like, these girls are so innocent, and they were so grateful to me. They sent me cards afterwards. They were like, "Thank you so much, Sarika. I didn't know anything about my body and my reproductive system until you know, shared it with us so lovingly." Yeah, it's so powerful for us women to reclaim that relationship with ourselves. Yeah. So next week, we're going to be going through the next section, which is called Activating the Divine Feminine Within. And that's about kind of claiming your feminine essence and what that's about, what it means to be, being a master, following a path of mastery as a woman. Okay. So wishing you a blessed week. And thank you for joining. And please share this with your friends. Please like. And I'll see you next week. Take care.